Welcome to Moses and the Exodus. Most people know about Moses and the burning bush, the 10 plagues God sent on Egypt, and how God parted the sea. But students often don't know how all these pieces fit together. In this study, you will take your students from the birth of Moses through the time that he leads the children of Israel out of bondage and through the sea. The Moses Bible study is designed for ages 7 and up. You can complete the study in 13 weekly lessons or 46 daily lessons. At Grapevine, you won't be just retelling stories, but your students will interact directly with each passage as you go through the study. The study begins with a timeline of Moses, from the birth of Moses to the point that he leads them through the sea. The timeline gives your students a big picture of where they're going in this study. We use timelines at Grapevine to help students see the order of events and how people and events are related to one another within time. After the timeline, we go into the lessons, where we will look more in depth at each point on the timeline. The lessons are divided into 4 pages. The first 2 are the lesson pages, where you will read directly from the Bible and discuss what you've read with your students. Then, as a teacher, you will draw a stick figure image onto the white marker board, and your students will draw into their books. Each lesson ends with a lesson review where you will ask factual questions about the lesson. At the end of the lesson, you will introduce the memory verse for this week. The next page is the drawing page. This is where students draw their favorite part of the story, and you get to see what part of the lesson impacted them most. Students will also review their memory verse on this page. The last page is a review page, where students will review the last few points of the timeline to help them do 2 things: to set the context for the coming lesson, and to continue to memorize the Moses timeline. After reviewing the timeline, they will also review the last few memory verses from their lessons, and this will help them to continue to plant the Word of God into their hearts and minds. The teacher book has all you need to confidently teach each lesson: discussion notes, stick figure drawings, and answers to the review questions. You will find lessons are not only easy to prepare, but easy to teach. But does this method really work? What will your students know at the end of this study? At the end of this study on Moses, your students should be able to draw the timeline of Moses and the Exodus from memory. They'll be able to tell you facts about each point on that timeline and recite 10 memory verses. But not only that, they will be able to go back to their books and retell you the lesson simply by looking at their drawings. No other curriculum has these kinds of results. Are you ready to get started with your family, church, or school? Here's the supply list of what you'll need. You will need a Bible. With Grapevine, you get to choose the Bible you want to use in your classroom. Teachers will need a teacher book, students a student book. You will need colored pencils, a white marker board and markers, and teachers, you will need access to a Bible dictionary. That's all you need: books and supplies that you likely have in your home or classroom. Are you ready to help the life of Moses come alive for your students? Simply go to our website at grapevinestudies.com, click the shop button, and order your study today. Let the story of Moses change your students' lives beginning now. I'm Diana with Grapevine Studies, where we help you grow lifelong disciples.